1945 session in the Senate of Alaska Territorial Legislature. Senators are discussing a newly proposed bill that calls for equal rights for all Alaskans.
I am Joseph Green and I will be chairing this hearing. Today we are discussing and acting allows everyone equal rights and equal access to a public place and business in Alaska and punishes those who refuse.
Mr. Chairman.
The chair recognizes Senator Alan Shadow.
Mr. Chair, I am violently against the bill instead of being brought closer together, which is the reason for this bill. The races should be kept further apart. Who are these people? They're the other savages who want to mix with us whites with 5,000 years of recorded civilization behind us.
Mr. Chairman.
The chair recognizes Senator Frank Wong.
I am a pilot in a gold miner for years. I'm also against this bill. As a first pilot, I believe this bill will create bad feelings between whites and natives. As you can see, there is already bad feelings there.
Mr. Chairman.
The chair recognizes Senator Talbot Scott.
I disagree with this bill unless it is changed. Mixed races are terrible. They wish to mix with whites. It would have been better if the Eskimos had put up signs, "No whites allowed."
Mr. Chairman.
The chair recognizes Senator Reynolds Collins.
I agree with Senator Scott. The Eskimos of St. Lawrence Island. I have not suffered from the white man's evil. They are well off. The Eskimos are not a lower race, but an individual race is a pure. Eskimos are proud, and we are aware that harm comes to them from mixing with the whites.
Mr. Chairman.
The chair recognizes Senator O.D. Cotron.
I am shocked by Senator Whalen comments, if you can tell, of many instances from discriminations that I myself has been witnessed in an Eskimo woman was removed from the movie theater by force when she dared to sit in the white section. She ended up in jail over it. Would take up way too much time to tell what I have witnessed in Alaska, but know that I have seen it. There is balanced discrimination in Alaska. I support this equal rights bill.
Mr. Chairman.
The chair recognizes Senator Norman R. Walker.
I am strongly in support of this bill. No native has ever died of a broken heart, but discrimination has caused life to be difficult for Native people.
Mr. Chairman.
The chair recognizes Mrs. Jones.
I support separating the whites and natives in Alaska, otherwise it will get worse. We are not willing to accept mixing of the races. It will just not work.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to call upon Mr. Roy Peratrovich to testify.
Mr. Peratrovich, would you like to testify?
Yes.
Mr. Peratrovich, would you please state your educational backgrounds and tell what right you have to speak for the natives?
Mr. Chairman, members of the Senate, I am a graduate of
Western Washington College. I have been Grand Camp President of the Alaska Native Brotherhood since 1940. I stand before you today in favor of the Equal Rights Bill. The Honorable Governor and Ernest Brewing knows discrimination exists in Alaska. At the Fairbanks Convention for the Democracy Party, they favored a solution on behalf of the natives. There are members of the Senate here that help frame the solution. Only Indians can know how it feels to be discriminated against. Either you are for discrimination or you are against it. As you vote in this bill, think about it carefully.
Thank you, Mr. Peratrovich. It is the custom to offer the audience a chance to share. Is there anyone present who would like to come forward and talk?
My name is Elizabeth Peratrovich. I am the Grand Camp President of the Alaska Native Sisterhood, and I would like to speak.
Yes, Mrs. Peratrovich, please come forward.
I would not have expected that I'm barely out of savagery would have to remember gentlemen with 5,000 years of recorded civilization behind them of our Bill of Rights. My husband and I came to Juneau to look for a home in a nice neighborhood where our children could play happily with our neighborhood children. When we found such a home and arranged to lease it, we were told no because we were Indians. Would we have to live in the slums then? There are 3 kids of persons who practice discrimination. First, the politicians who want people to remember less than others so he can promise them something. Second, the Mr. and Mrs. Jones who aren't quite sure of the status and who are nice to you one day and can't see you on other days, depending on who they are with. Their third, the great Superman who believes in the greatness of the white race. The discrimination we have suffered has forced the finest of our race to associate with white trash. The super race attitude is wrong.
Do you think the proposed bill would stop discrimination?
Do your laws against robbery and even murder prevents those crimes? No law will do away with crimes, but at least you as legislators can say to the world that you're recognized how bad it is and speak your plan to stop discrimination.
After a long political battle and a speech by a 5'5" Clinton woman, the Senate passed the Equal Rights Bill by a vote of 11-5 on February 8, 1945. The bill was signed into law on February 16, 1945. A new time for getting along with each other had begun. That evening, Roy and Elizabeth Peratrovich danced at the Verona Hotel ballroom. They danced amongst people they did not personally know, and they danced in a business where they were not welcome before. They were happy they belonged.